Hey everyone, before we get busy with the boat jobs, I want to let you know that on Sunday we're going to be releasing an extra video. It's going to have a giveaway from Precision Sales for one of you guys that are watching. So if you're going to potentially be buying a boat in the future, or if you've already got a boat, you're not going to want to miss that one. That's something for you guys, and it's going to be a fun video. Alright, let's get into the boat jobs. Welcome to a week of boat jobs here in the beautiful Ensenada, Mexico. First things first, you probably noticed this addition. We are getting a surround built for our cockpit. We brought all the materials down ourselves from Canada, and we were going to make it ourselves, but we met a lovely man on the boat next to us doing a whole lot of sewing, and for a really, really good price, he's going to do it for us. That'll allow us to get it done before we head south, keep the bugs out when we want to, and make it a lot more enjoyable when it's raining. So we're very, very happy about that. And it will give us a whole lot more time to get onto the mini refit that we're doing.
These wires will move.
Okay.
When do you need them moved?
¿Cuándo necesitas que lo yes, probably you have time today.
Yeah.
But I come now, I put the now window in here.
We're going to start with how all good refits in Mexico should start. I can't help it, I'm just so weak when it comes to tacos. The starboard engine starter battery is toasted, so I'm going to put this battery that we use to start the dinghy into the starboard side, and that's going to stay there to start the starter engine. It's really, really heavy, so I'll actually be glad to get it out of the dinghy, and then we're going to put a tiny little lithium battery that we've had on the boat for a while into the dinghy to start it. So I'm down in the starboard hull. This is where we normally come down the steps to go to either bedroom. They're both currently filled with tools and spare parts and things, but we've lifted off the stairs, and here is the old starter battery that doesn't work, and here is the also old starter battery that does work, that was just on the boat originally, and we've been using it for the dinghy motor, but it's way too big for that, so we're going to switch them out.
Yeah, it was just kind of like an extra old battery, so instead of buying a new battery for the dinghy, we just used that. And it's now overstayed its welcome because it's super heavy too.
Yeah.
And we do have a tiny little battery that we've been using to help do like odd jobs, and that's going to go in the dinghy.
That little battery has come in useful for a lot of things.
It is a very useful battery.
Gosh, it is heavy. And oh gosh. Oh, that was actually really heavy, and I definitely lifted it on my own. I've also put some electrical tape on so we know which one's positive and negative. They just had green and black I think before, but we've been told that now for DC electrical systems on boats you should put yellow for negative and red for positive. So that's what I've done. And I've also sanded off these copper lugs a bit because they were pretty green.
Bit of corrosion on them.
Bit of corrosion, that's right. So I'm going to put these ones while being careful. Well, now that that's tightened up, we're pretty much done. We're just going to find some battery covers for here, and then we also got some good advice from someone in the comments to clean up each section as we go, or when we're doing things, because there's so much to be done on the boat, so much to clean that we end up leaving things. So we're going to follow that advice and clean this section of the bilge. There's about 35 or more years worth of kludge and dust and whatever else in the bilge. So
I don't think kludge is a word.
It is now. That looks like kludge to me. But we're going to clean it up and then get on to the next job.
This is what we cook on. It's our induction cooktop. And we were so proud of ourselves because we didn't have to install it. Right there. That's all you needed. Just put it there. But the problem is when you hit the smallest wave, it slides. And so that's kind of why when we were underway here, we didn't really do any cooking. Had pizza pockets pretty much the whole time. We've understood that this has to be built into the counter. Luckily, it has the option of being built into the counter. So I've taken the liberty to trace out the hole that I need to cut. Setting this countertop, because it's all in one piece. This whole V countertop is in one piece, and it's gonna like tear us up to have to cut into it.
Yeah, we put so much work and time into making it all perfect one piece when we did it. But...
Yeah, we could have easily done it in 2 pieces, and it would have been much faster, but 1 piece. But anyways, neither here nor there. It's time to do some cutting. I cannot for the life of me find the right handsaw. I know I have a handsaw somewhere, so I'm going to be using this. I might get sick of it and try and use some power tools, but we're trying to keep the sound down because it's not even that late. It's like pitch black and it's like 5 o'clock. So, but we're trying to still keep the sound down for our neighbors. So let's get to installing the cooktop. No part of that is enjoyable.
Oh.
But it's gonna look great though.
Yeah, and we won't have to put it on the ground in passages.
Okay.
How's it going?
You know, in my head this was gonna go like so easy. But I guess right tool for the job, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, the metal supports.
So that was not gonna work. No wonder it was hard.
Okay. So that's a minor problem.
Nothing that can't be solved, can it?
Uh,
Can we take them out and move them forward so it's like
yeah.
in front of where it's going to be?
I
And behind where it's going to be? Oh, 'cause
Yeah.
this is holding up that actual thing.
yeah.
Will there be enough support on it then?
No.
Actually, it can't be in front of it because then there'll be nothing holding up the middle section, will there?
It'll work. We just have to go into that corner and cry.
Which corner? There's a few to choose from. They've all got L brackets that...
As you can see, I neglected to look for the L bracket underneath holding up the countertop. So that's going to be a problem. But we will be able to fix it because there has to be a way to fix it. So I think I'm going to just take this L bracket off and then continue cutting. But because this is where our stove used to be, this L bracket is supporting this piece here. But I think you can just find a different way to support it. Yeah, I think we can just find a different way to support it and we can make it work.
Yeah.
All right, we removed the L bracket and we think we have a better way to attach it. And we're back to just the saw blade with the hand, but we're making some progress here, so.
Are you regretting saying we're going to finish this before we make any dinner?
I am not. I regret nothing. This was a splendid idea. So we've managed to cut all of the L brackets so far that are stopping us to put the cooktop in. We just took them out and cut them. But now the last one is it's significantly easier if we cut in place. So I'm just going to cut it in place really quick. Done.
Simple.
So after all that, we did manage to find the correct tool. This is the handsaw that I wanted to use this entire time.
Oh, we've got one side left.
Yeah, one side left.
Better late than never. Wow, that took like 50 times faster than the rest.
Yeah.
Woo!
Done. Kind of. Just a couple trim cuts. All right, we have a beautifully straight cut hole, and this is gonna work the first time. I mean, it has to, it's just a basic hole. There's no way it can like be that wrong, can it? I mean, that's tight.
Too tight or just perfect?
I don't know. I think it's...
Looks pretty good to me.
Just right. First try.
Goldilocks, just right.
Oh, don't go down there. So I just need to do a little bit of wiring. I'm actually gonna put the wire in back behind here, and then so we can just plug it into here, and I'm gonna call it good. At some other point, I'm gonna wire it into here, so we won't have to like unplug it and plug it all the time. But I want to eat dinner. so yeah, it's going in temporarily, permanently.
Yeah, all our temporary things last for a long time. There we go. Today I'm finally getting around to installing these new LED lights here in the saloon. I actually did all the other ones quite a few months ago now, but didn't get to finish them because the little control box for this set didn't work and we had to replace it. So I'm finally getting around to doing them. I kind of pushed the job right to the bottom of the list because there were so many other things that seemed more important, and we had some lights, but finally getting to it today. I always hate cutting wires because I always feel like I'm going to cut them too short, but I've double checked this, so should be good.
Measure twice, cut twice.
Yep. So I'm just stripping the ends of the wires so I can make the connections.
Fancy tool you have there.
I know. It's relatively new, so it's way easier with this than when we were doing it before. I've run the wires from the LED lights to the control box, that's these ones. Now I just need to get power to the control box. I've flipped off the breaker and here's the power wires. Darcy's going to flick the breaker now, so we'll see if it works. Hey! Hey! Worked!
Good job.
Thank you. If you're wondering why these lights have so many wires, it's because they have a special secret. They can change colour. So cool. It's 2 in the morning and I finally finished all the lighting. Took me a little while because I had to remember how to do all the wiring and it's been a while and I started pretty late. We can either go to sleep now or
we're supposed to be doing boat work, but we've met up with a bunch of people from the marina and we're on a margarita / taco tour of Ensenada. It's going well.
this is our second taco place of the night and third margarita place of the night. Definitely going well. So I'm up early this morning. Birds are just getting up. I'm trying to get up earlier so that I can make the most of the daylight.
You want me to wake up, but I'm strangled in my sleep. You want me to shape up, but in my dreams I found relief. You want me to wake up, but I've been out for so long. Got plugs in my ears, got plugs in my soul. I want you to wake up, but you struggle in your sleep. I want you to shape up, but in your dreams you feel relief.
We are going to be putting, I am going to be putting this strainer in. We do not have any strainers in the intake pipe for the engine. So the engine takes cooling water from the ocean, and if like it sucks up like seaweed or a fish or a 20-foot shark, it will just go straight to the engine and can clog the engine, so that's a bad thing. So we have this strainer that's going to go in, and it just goes in this little hose here. So it should just be a simple job. Famous last words. All right, first step, this is the intake, and we want to close it off. So that means no more seawater is coming in. So I've put one of these bowls under there, put some gloves on, and you might remember this from cutting the kitchen countertop, but I figured this was the best way to cut into this hose. And there's a bunch of water in this hose right now, so it has to be drained. So I'm gonna hopefully make like a little nick in it and then drain it into this bowl, and when this bowl fills, drain it into that bowl. And that's how it's supposed to go. But I'm not quite sure it's gonna go that smoothly. And it feels like it's working. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect that to go as smoothly as it did.
Neither did I.
Alright, so we have this fancy little tiny measuring cup. It's for measuring nighttime drinks. And we're just gonna get all this water out of here. Now I'm gonna put these, what are these called? I'm gonna put these pieces so it goes from the thread to the hose attachment. But I have to do it in a certain way. There's a little arrow on top of there. I don't know if you can see that. No. And it tells you which direction the flow is. So I want the straight one on this side and the bent one on the other. So use some Teflon tape.
Which is for?
Teflon tape stops it from leaking. Stops the threads from kind of weeping and leaking. always make sure you test and make sure they're tight. This one came pretty loose. And then also, sometimes they have like stickers on them. And so you can pull the stickers off because if something clogs this big sieve in here, it's a strainer, you want to be able to see that it's clogged. So then you can remove this little cup here and clear the clog. So, but make sure this is tight enough. And because this is going to be below the water line, we have to put two
hose clamps.
Hose clamps. Hose clamps. Two hose clamps on because it's below the water line. So zoom on in here.
It's light in there for you.
Thank you. So one hose clamp, two hose clamp. This is hooked up here, and this is in here, and the hose clamps can be brought down here. And so all I have to do is tighten up said hose clamps and then open the water on again. Come on, Darcy. Second last step is to open this seacock. So that now lets water in through here, and it goes into the strainer, and then the strainer makes sure there's no gunk in it before it comes up here into the engine. So we just have to now turn the engine on and make sure water is coming out the exhaust at the back.
Nice, good work, Bob.
So if you see the water coming out of here, this means that everything is working and we have seawater coming in to cool the engine. So we're finally hooking up the vent to the water tank here. So when it overflows, it doesn't overflow into the bilge, it overflows outside of the boat. So I'm just soaking this hose in some hot water right now so it expands and can fit on here because it's a hair too small to fit on. And then we'll get this all hooked up. That should be good. Hopefully this works. That hurt a little bit, but that went on a little bit easier than I expected, honestly. So now all we have to do is get a 90, put it on there, hook up a couple of hose clamps, and we're all good to go. Yeah. I mean to put this on first. There we go. I'm gonna put the vent tube in the hot water as well. It'll make it a little bit easier to slide onto there. But this is all going a lot easier than I suspected it was going to.
Don't speak so soon.
Oh no, it's gravy. So what would happen before is we would fill up this water tank, and because there was nothing attached to the vent, it would just overfill when it was full. Now it's going to be attached to this vent tube, which goes all the way up and outside of the boat. So if it overflows through the vent, it'll overflow outside of the boat.
Instead of inside the boat.
Yeah.
Which has happened a number of times.
Let me not burn myself on this scalding water. And ooh, that goes on so easy. I Googled that trick. So using the hot water instead of like a heat gun or something, it makes it so that you shouldn't be able to damage the piping because it doesn't heat it above boiling. All right, so that job is now done.
Should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah. The only reason we didn't do a lot of these jobs before is because we had like thousands of jobs to do. We still do, but we would like get the water tank in, or get like the new water lid in, and it would be working kind of, and then we move on to the next job, which is terrible, I know, but we're kind of trying to go back and clean up all the old jobs now.
Things we didn't fully finish because they kind of worked, so we moved on. And
it's the saying is nothing's quite as permanent as a temporary fix.
That works. That works really well. Except for the odd overflow of water into the boat.
Yeah, it's always fresh water though.
Bit of a clean out.